Okay, let's start. Great that you're here, and welcome to this first session in the series of 6 weeks to energy, your summer project, where we're going to discover how we can all recharge and get more sustainable energy during these few weeks that we have with family, with friends, or maybe you've got plenty of other activities going on. But how can we recharge during the summer break with sustainable energy? In this first session, we'll really discuss about the opportunity that we have in order to recharge. So we'll talk about how can we use the summertime, what your opportunity is, how to increase your energy, and specifically your inner energy. And as a starting point, we can start with defining your true goal. Ultimately, where I want to get to is defining your vision 1 year from now, and we'll talk about an exercise. Maybe just something about me. Firstly, I think I know most of you, but my name is Tom Bloemers. I've started the transformation partnering movement about 2 years ago, and my goal is to help project and executive leaders deliver truly transformational results with more energy. Truly transformational because we don't just only want to improve incrementally. Often we say that we want transformation, but we're not getting it. So one of the key factors behind that is to really figure out what the right mindset, what the right culture, what the right leadership, and what the right more harder actions are in order to get transformations and projects to succeed. Energy is, and looking at with an energy lens to that problem is the key element that I'm also contributing. I have almost 20 years of transformation and project experience. I'm a certified executive coach and specialized in energy leadership. Really look at, so let's start. So summertime. So after a busy start of the year, we are like 6-7 months in. Most people, they use this time for just relaxing, take a longer break with family, reading a book, doing some other activities, and maybe think less of work, have some fun, rest a bit and de-stress. Take some distance from everything that is going on, all the hectic stuff that is going on, and get maybe some new perspectives, find new motivation for the rest of the year, and also to get some new energy back. While all of these things, they're great, and I hope that you find some fantastic activities to do. You can wonder by the end of the year whether you have actually re-energized yourself so that you have that sustainable drive throughout the year. Because does that sustainable drive really come from these activities? So summarizing, let's say the last page is more like, so often people describe it as doing little to nothing, or doing less, or spending time on another location. Maybe you go on vacation, or you spend some time with other people, and that specifically will rest your mind so that you can cope with a new year of hard and stressful work. Now, coping already sounds like, oh, I have something to cope with. It's not something that comes natural to you and you can really be there with lots of inner drive. So it could actually be that spending more time on all these external factors, so other location, spending time with other people, or doing other activities, may not actually get you some new sustainable energy. And actually, you may end up being disappointed because you've spent all this great time and yes, you've had some fun, but maybe you forgot the most important factor that is there in order to really give you that sustainable energy, which is yourself. What have you invested and done for yourself during that period? So an alternative is doing some more work. So not less work during the vacation, no, doing a bit of more work, but then specifically focus it on yourself to rediscover or discover, if you haven't done that yet, on how you can thrive in the remaining year and realize new opportunities. So it's about that, getting the inner energy, so looking at yourself, so that you ultimately feel less stressed and feel more motivated. If you feel stress, let's say during the past 6 months, and you haven't done much about it, then exactly that may be the cause of it. Not doing something about a problem that you face actually gets you to more stress, because you're not actively taking steps to deal with it. So therefore, doing some more work on your inner self can actually give you some more energy and reduce your stress. So yes, your outer landscape, so that what you are busy with, it's also where you are doing it, almost like with whom you're doing it. So basically going on vacation, relaxing a bit, going to the beach. Yes, they're all great things to do, but ultimately it's your inner that provides you with new sustainable energy. So it's about focusing on who you truly are, why you do what you do, and how you function, which is really about introspecting, maybe even discussing with others, and sharing and clarifying your thoughts and beliefs, figuring out what your mindset is and increasing your degree of consciousness, identifying what your emotional responses are to various situations. Do you feel constantly annoyed, or are you totally enthusiastic and you welcome new initiatives and ideas? And ultimately, it's also driving your motivation in life. So clarifying these elements can give you that inner force that maybe you've been missing, or maybe that you've lost, or maybe that you'd like to strengthen, to give you that sustainable energy, to not only have a great next 5 to 6 months, but that may also set you on a path for higher performance going forward for years to come. So let's figure out in the rest of this session what exercises you can do, what work you can do to uncover a bit more of that inner force. And when we're speaking about energy, people often have various definitions and ideas about what energy is. Yes, drinking a can of Red Bull, can give you energy. Literally, it gives you wings. However, when I'm talking about energy, I'm specifically talking about 2 types of energy. On the left-hand side here, it's called anabolic energy. So anabolic means it's a constructive energy, an energy that builds up your force, and it's associated actually with more inner peace. It gives you energy. When you simulate having anabolic energy, it also promotes having a solution-minded perspective, stimulates creativity, it increases your consciousness, you exert less judgment and you feel less the need to judge, and as a result, you get more energy. While on the other hand, there's catabolic energy, which is a destructive or tearing down force, and it's often associated with stress. It can feel like draining, frustrated, angry. It may also be you focus on yourself only, you're egocentric, maybe not by choice, but maybe because of stress factors that you feel the only thing you can do is focus on yourself, while maybe the solution is somewhere else. You have a limited view, and also you feel that you have little choices available. You feel already when talking about it that your energy goes down. And when you speak about the anabolic energy, where you talk about, hey, there's solutions, and let's be creative, let's exert less judgment, that your energy goes up. So what you can do during this summer is look at your life via this energy lens. And energy is actually something that you can quantify. So quantify how much energy you have in the anabolic side and on the catabolic side. And we use a model which is called the 7 levels of energy, where you have levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is the highest level of energy, where levels 1 and 2 are characterized as being catabolic, so tearing down, and levels 3 and higher are anabolic, so building up. Level 1 is generally described as feeling as a victim. So exactly as we were saying before, you feel that you don't have a choice. Level 2, you're combative. You're looking for conflict. You're looking to fight. And that is maybe something you don't want, because ideally you want things to go much smoother, like the other levels of energy will show. But sometimes the conflict energy can also be good, because you need a bit of a fighter in you to sometimes overcome obstacles. So any of these 7 levels, actually, they are not per se bad on their own. You can, there is a benefit and a cost of each of these levels. So we talked about victim. Yes, it's not something that you want to experience many times. However, when you're, let's say, walking on the street and you are being attacked, with a knife, and you feel threatened, but you also see that, you do not have a chance of fighting at that situation, you can maybe better choose a victim approach and say, oh, this is not what I want. Let's figure out a way how I can get out of this situation as soon as possible. So a victim behavior may actually be better than a conflict or fighting behavior in that situation. Continuing, so level 3, you take responsibility for your life, your actions, and anything that goes on. However, you focus maybe a bit too much on yourself and not enough yet, let's say, on the others. So it is, yes, you want to win, and others, okay, if they win, it's fine, but you're not concerned with it. And that's exactly the point of level 4, where you're principally of service to others. Yes, you can also choose that you're responsible, and you can choose when to use conflict, and even choose when you need it to use victim behavior, but let's try to avoid it as much as possible. But you're showing at level 4 more concern to the world around you. At level 5, you take it one step further, and actually you take everything that is around you as a given. And you're able to reconcile your internal needs and desires with those of the external world. And at level 6, you even add no judgment anymore. You think even everything that is going on, all the opinions that others are expressing, you're thinking, okay, that's okay, I accept it. And at level 7, you don't exert judgment. You have reconciled everything that is going on around you, and you're at a higher level. It's almost like a philosophical level where you think, everything that is going on around me actually doesn't matter. What matters is that, I'm happy and I'm living a satisfactory life. And everything that is around me, I can shape it, I can mold it. And at the same time, I accept it as it is. At level 7, you're able to use all the energy levels below whenever you need it. And so you're a master of all these energy levels. So looking at it at energy and looking at your life in this way, and when you experience which level, is a very useful lens to also figure out how you can increase your energy. Because we can always consciously choose which level we have. And all of these levels, by the way, they are always continuously present in each person's life. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're at level 3, you feel more in a responsibility sphere. Well, in your life, in your work, at your home situation, you are at level 5. Or when you do sports, you're even at level 6. So in the various situations where you are, you can have apply different energy levels, consciously or unconsciously. Consciously is better because then you can choose yourself. And these energy levels, they also vary during the day and definitely during the week or a month or a year. Being more conscious of those energy levels will help you to, on average, increase the level of energy that you have. In order to measure this, there is an energy leadership index assessment, as we call it, ELI, that can actually scientifically, with scientifically proven ways, measure these energy levels. So ultimately, we want to be conscious of what energy level we choose. So we want to raise our consciousness of those energy levels whenever they happen and however they show up in our life on a daily basis. So raising that consciousness, actually, it allows us to become aware in the moment of your energy level and gives you a choice of which level is most productive, so anabolic. So at each moment, then you can create exactly how you'd like to show up. And when you can choose how you show up, you can also create your future. So you have total control of where you currently are, how you're reacting, and where you want to go. So our aim is to raise that consciousness of energy levels so we can really create your own future that you desire. Of course, you need to be clear on what you desire. That's what we'll focus on in a second. Now, there's various, articles, books, courses that you can follow. My professional coaching training, I followed these programs with many hours of training. But if you want to know more about it in a quicker way, then you can read the book by Bruce Schneider, who is the founder of the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, which focuses on energy leadership. Or with me, you can take an energy leadership index assessment where you'll also get a debrief. Or in your organization, there's also an energy leadership program and toolkit that you can use yourself or with your colleagues, team, or even the entire organization. Now, we're all here because in some way or another in our life, in our work, we're all project leaders or executive leaders. And we all have a critical role to play. So because when there's change in our lives, or when in an organization there's a transformation program or there's a new project and something has to change or you want it to change and you have actually a management role or leadership role to play, then understanding these energy levels actually can help you accomplish your goals. Because ultimately, you do not really want superficial change. You do not want only continuous improvement. Often you want, true change or like major transformation or true metamorphosis, as it says here on the slide. So superficial change would be if you're only looking at the outer side of things, your structures, your processes, your systems, but you haven't really dug into what people actually think and feel, what their mindsets are, exactly as we mentioned it on the previous page. So as a change leader, going below the line and figuring out what people's real emotions, desires are, actually really strengthens your transformation case. And you can get to real metamorphosis versus incremental, superficial change. When you master these energy levels and you know exactly what drives you, then you're also much stronger in being able to influence and inspire and guide and engage the people around you, because you're leading authentically, which basically is you're leading exactly as you're supposed to lead, because you have discovered and you're very conscious of what drives you, and you have overcome obstacles in order to dare to show it. You're showing it on a daily basis, and you're not afraid of how it looks like, because you're not afraid of the opinions of others, because you don't see them as judgments, you see them as useful feedback and information, and you're not judging others. At the same time, it also helps you as a result to stimulate participation and engagement from the whole organization or team. It's critical that you involve and stimulate your stakeholders to participate. So if you lead authentically, then the participation also helps. And ultimately, what drives it is starting with yourself and being the example, being authentic, so that it's not only your words that matter. Hey, we're going to change. Hey, we're going to make this organization better. Oh, we've got a fantastic new strategy that we're going to realize. Oh, we've got a big transformation vision. Let's see how we get there. But that actually you're also showing yourself then what are the new values, what the new behaviors, what the new actions are and are needed in order to realize those ambitions. So you yourself have a critical role to play. And the only place that you can start is starting with yourself. Because when you show anabolic energy, so building up energy, then others will mirror that. They will start following you for the energy that you exert. So let's focus on what you can do in order to increase then your inner energy, which is really going below the surface, so not being superficial only. In order to increase your energy, you can use the summertime to clarify your desires and dreams. What do you really want? Rediscover your motivation. So what motivates you? What drives you? What gives you energy and what takes energy away? Investigate as well what stops you from realizing those desires or dreams, or what subtracts from your motivation. So basically all the catabolic energy elements, like what are some of the obstacles? Maybe you have anxieties, or you're a bit of fear about anything, or you feel a tension that really stops you from getting what you want. And it's okay to feel those things. Everybody does. But it would be too bad if those elements would stop you from reaching your goals. So understanding these obstacles, anxieties, and tensions actually helps you to overcome them and to give them a spot, a place in your life. When you have a clear view on the various energy levels and where they and how they apply in your life, it also allows you to sharpen your focus, because you know exactly what you want. You better understand what drives you. And as a result, because you've aligned everything, you enjoy each day more. So let's start. And a good place to do so is by uncovering your true goal, your true personal goal, which aligns with your motivations and desires. And formulated maybe as a clear personal vision. When you have a clear personal vision or a true goal, then you know intuitively in which direction to move. You're also inspired and to create new opportunities and to continue and start new initiatives. And you're also clearly guided to truly act, feel, and think differently. But you don't really have to think about those things then. They really come from yourself because you've embedded them in your personality, in your goal, which is aligned with your real deep emotions and drive. So we can start uncovering this true goal and developing your clear personal vision through two small exercises that we'll discuss in a second. First, some initial questions, almost like warming up questions, but they can already, uncover a lot of the elements that we've just been thinking about. So the first one is, if you had exactly what you wanted, what would you be experiencing? Secondly, how would these new experiences then feel like? What might be different for you if you could make these experiences a reality? And what might your ideal look like? Ultimately, life is a lot about creating experiences and being clear on what you want, how would your happiness, your happy situation, or your ideal situation look like, goes a long way in clarifying your true goal and your personal vision. So let's embed this in an even stronger exercise and a slightly bigger exercise that you can do in the coming week. And then we'll see each other again next week, where we'll continue the next step. So the exercise, generally it happens best if you take a quiet moment with a pen and paper, or online, of course, or your computer, or whatever you prefer to use. But find a space where you can focus. Also important is that you need to believe, which is true as well, that you have the power to increase your own energy and realize the vision that you have. You are not powerless. You have a choice. Because each moment describes who you are, and at the same time gives you the opportunity to decide if that's who you want to be. If currently you're not happy at work, then discover what you're not happy with. So you describe the current moment that you have, and then say, okay, what am I not happy with? How does that make me feel? What is my opportunity here? I have the opportunity to decide that that's not what I want to be or what I want to experience on a daily basis. So I can create a new future. You can, at any moment in time, choose different things to start doing, start talking to different people, start thinking differently, so that you really align your actions, your thoughts, your thinking with your true values and desires. So the exercise, it's called 1 year from now, which is described on the next page. So over the coming week, take a quiet moment with a pen and paper, find some focus, believe that you can change what you're currently experiencing, and then start working through the following questions. 1 year from now, what are you doing? With whom are you doing it? Where are you living? How much income are you earning? How much fun are you having? What difference are you making? How and what do your senses pick up? What do you feel? And then complete the sentence, I will have, and maybe combine the various answers that you gave to these questions. So when you've taken some time to consider these questions and written up the answers and formulated an I will have 1 year from now, you've gone a long way towards defining your true goal. And ideally, you should also really feel it and almost be able to smell it, how it looks like. So the clearer you formulate your answers and the more detail and aspects and senses that you describe when answering these questions, the better it is. Because our vision becomes clearer and more tangible if we describe it with all our senses, not only our brain, but also what our eyes see, what our ears hear, and what, even when we smell. If you would like to be somewhere in a green meadow, then, indicate what you'd like to smell at that moment in time. So make it as tangible and clear as possible. And when you're in an organization transformation, when you have a big organization or a company to manage through a transformation, through a change, then actually going through these exercises with your team or your entire organization is also a fantastic way in order to clarify where you want to go. So what are you doing? Maybe spending less time on inefficient processes and repairing errors. But what we're doing is using the information that is available to make, fact-based decisions and really add value to clients. So you can take these lists of questions and also apply them and use them in a workshop type setting with your team and your organization. So yes, definitely useful individually as individual exercises, but also to align then these thoughts about these questions and the answers to these questions to the overall team and the overall organization. Because ultimately, organization transformation happens when the answers to these questions at an organization level are aligned to those at each team and are aligned to each individual. So you have a full alignment and cascade of similar ambitions. When you do so, there's probably many thoughts and ideas and emotions and mixed feelings and doubts and things that come up in your mind. This is not an easy exercise because your mind will probably go in all directions, which is okay. That is what happens with all people. But it's important not to ignore that voice, that inner voice. So you have to carefully listen to it and almost like have a list of the answers to the questions here and have to the side of it a piece of paper or online where you note down all these emotions, thoughts, and other impressions that you get from filling in the exercise. And then try to recognize any unproductive thoughts and beliefs that are getting in the way. Oh, I'm not sure I can do this. That would be a lot of work. Yes, but this other person is not going to contribute with me. Write these things up. Explore deeper to become better aware of those potential barriers. So for all of those elements that you then write up, ask yourself a question. So what is really going on there? Why am I thinking that? How does that make me feel? How does that make me feel? As a result of these thoughts and beliefs that are potentially getting in the way, how am I acting? How would I be acting if those elements and those obstacles wouldn't be there? Then you can create new perspectives, beliefs, or mindset that support, let's say, positive action. So something towards that goal that you'd like to achieve, and really building your anabolic energy. So what would be a different perspective that would give you renewed energy? And by changing the perspective, we'll definitely look at it in 2 sessions from now. And then with that renewed perspective, belief, and mindset, you could start moving based on the newly created thinking. But you can only create that newly created thinking if you have faced your unproductive thoughts and beliefs that are getting in the way. So therefore, when doing the 1 day from now exercise, 1 year from now exercise, actually listening to that inner voice is as important. Because it's only when you have tackled these true feelings and emotions that you have that you can get to new actions. You cannot get to new actions and new results and new happiness and new enterprise performance on current beliefs and current thinking. You need to create new beliefs and new thinking. So take some of these initial questions. Secondly, take some time and focus on the 1 year from now exercise for yourself or for your team or for your organization. And at the same time, again, for yourself, for your team or organization, listen to the inner voice, or what people are saying, or what, ask people what they are thinking. And figuring out this inner voice and becoming more conscious of it is actually a huge step towards delivering and realizing through true transformational results. This is what is below the surface. So, as a quick summary, firstly, we've discussed, yes, great, go and do some other things during the summer, but don't forget to spend time in yourself during the summer to actually find new energy. Inner energy, that is. Finding and maybe describing more and exploring who, why, and how of yourself. So that you can actually formulate your true goal, your personal vision 1 year from now. And in the meantime, listen to that inner voice and start with yourself to be a truly transformational leader. So I hope that has inspired you. I hope that it guides you towards that first step in getting more summer energy. And that is really about clarifying where you'd like to go to, getting that vision clear, that true goal. And then next week, we'll discuss a bit about how we deal with actually the complexity of this exercise. As I said before, it's not easy to formulate those elements, but you can make it easier and you can accelerate if you figure out a way on how to partner up with a sparring partner. So with a sparring partner, you can actually accelerate this process and you can reflect more effectively and therefore get to results in a quicker way, but also in a higher quality way. So to that, we will turn next week. And of course, you may have seen on my website that there is much more to it. Over the next 6 weeks, we'll talk about, this today, it's setting your vision 1 year from now. Next, we'll talk about using sparring partnering, and then in the weeks thereafter, we'll talk about changing your perspective, going deep, creating a will, and being ready for more. In all of these sessions, if you'd like a sparring partner already, or you'd like to be coached through it, because these are difficult things to face, and maybe you need some help, which is totally okay and understandable, then feel free to enroll in this 6 weeks to energy coaching sessions, where you'll get one-to-one coaching on the various questions and elements that we've just discussed, where we not only discuss maybe the results of these exercises, but we'll dig a level even deeper, where I can help you one-on-one to discover your true goal and your true energy, so that you feel re-energized, really truly innerly re-energized during the summer. So if you want to join, just drop me a mail or go to my website and enroll. But in the meantime, next week, I hope to I hope you join me again for this, for the second episode in this series. And as homework, it would be great if you could start answering these initial questions, figure out and complete the 1 year from now exercise, and at the same time, make a list of all the things that your inner voice is telling you. For now, thank you very much. And I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.